Hello. I see I've been given 10 minutes to do the book review. Hello. Here is the book. I hope you buy a copy before you leave. I was supposed to do the review for about 25 minutes. I've been told it's 10 minutes. Because when I got the print, I was suddenly possessed by the spirit of Ruben Abati. And it made me write quite a lot. But I'll just try and cut it as short as possible. I've spent the last 12 years of my life writing biographies of rich and influential men across Africa. And at that time, I've come to realize that it's important that rich men and men of influence in Africa tell us how they made their money and how they became successful. But we live in a country, and a continent, where people's life stories are full of ellipses, vague diversions that refuse investigation or elimination. So when the governor called me and said he wanted me to review his book, I had to cut short my travel plan. I was happy to hear he had written the book, but I was also a bit sad by the fact that I had not asked him to write his book. For a moment I saw him as a young editor at his magazine. Then he was one hand, a glass of cognac in the other one. I was intrigued, and I would have loved to sit with him and unravel that enigma. The historian Herodotus was the one in chronicling the life of Constantine. He said, "Count no man lucky until he is dead." He would not have been quick to make that assertion if he had met Governor Olumese, whose life, autobiography, my National Commission for this year, we have come here to celebrate and launch. Because the testimonials that come at the end of this book tell us that this is a man at 80 who is content, who is happy, and who is surrounded by family, friends, and fans. And this is in spite of all the adversities. His house burned down, his club burned down, his wife was shot, he was also attacked by armed robbers. He was born on May 27, 1944. As he said on his union card, he was established on May 27, 1944. And he arrived in Lagos in the early 70s, and since that time, he has planted his feet firmly in the city and made it his own. He is the only governor in Nigeria who cannot be impeached, and his tenure is not circumscribed by conditional limits. His account of his rich, exciting, influential, and very unusual life has been put down thanks to the audience of his daughter, Cynthia Yinkere. His account is an amazing one of 4 years. And he has emerged in that time, as the novelist Mike Moses said, as a minister of night. Those who watch CNN must know the program, from passion to portfolio. Ken Olumese belongs to the tribe of men who are lucky to make a living from doing something considered a hobby. As he says in the book, this book is different from other biographies. And as you read it, you will meet a man who has danced to the beat of his own cheek, as we say in Igbo land. When his father tried to send him off to a senior mentor, the young and very stubborn Ken Olumese found a way to disappear, truncating his father's plans and getting a nice beating for it. When he planned to go to the USSR, he told no one, but as he was leaving, he led his sister to Roger him, so he came to tell her. Later in life, even though he had a very good job, he quit that high-paying job to become a nightclub proprietor. Every man's story is one of the road taken and the roads diverged from. I'm not sure whether the governor knows the poet Robert Frost, but Frost wrote a poem, The Road Not Taken, and in that poem, Frost seems to have anticipated the governor's life. He wrote, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere, ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the road less traveled, and that has made all the difference. His love for nightclubbing led him to rub shoulders with legends like Marvin Gaye, Muhammad Ali, and brought him in contact with men of means and power. Testimonial after testimonial in this book will tell you that every civilian governor in Lagos State has been hosted by night shift. It is no mean feat. The list of those who have taken part in the grand house reception went like a who is who in the world. From ex-convicts to ex-rebel leaders, ex-presidents to politicians to technocrats. The only people who seem to have avoided that hot seat were OBJ, Babangida, and Buhari. To be clear, Caleb Olumese did not invent nightclubbing. He did not. Neither was he the first in Lagos. But what he did is that he redefined it, and in doing so, wrote the manual for others to follow. There is a song I like by Nicholas B.I.G. It's called The 10 Crack Commandments. And in that song, he raps, I wrote a manual, step-by-step booklet to get your shit on track. Anybody who aspires to own a nightclub must do well to read this book. It's a primer on how to start a nightclub. I'll just talk about night shift for what it was. There's something I realized. I wanted to ask a question, but I thought I would anticipate my review. The governor has some of the most loyal friends, some of the most influential men as friends, but he never asked any of them to become his business partner. I don't know why that happened, so we'll find out from him. In this book, you will see that to start a good business, you must pay attention to research. What business are you going into? How does it run? So as Governor was going from country to country, nightclub to nightclub, he was looking at what worked and what did not work. Another is branding. If you went to night shift, you will know that it was totally off branding. For the branding of night shift, he made a logo that was designed by a woman named Mary Ann Ako, who was introduced to him by Ray April. There are references in this book to how the branding was done. I remember my first time at night shift, I'd gone to the bathroom after doing my business. The guy just came to me and gave me powder to throw my like, what's going on here? It was really cool. Another attribute of business is location, location, location. He wanted his nightclub to be on the mainland around the Obebi where he lived. And a guy called Toni Jode helped him figure out where to put it. It was 21 Obebi Road. He was there for almost a decade, and then when issues in London came up, he was saved and moved to Salvation Road. Finally, your clientele, who do you want to sell to? The governor got it right. In the book it says, membership of the Coliseum was free, but discretionary, exclusive and non-transferable. The membership comprised high-profile individuals in society like me. They didn't accept paparazzi back then. I did not apply to be a member. One day, the chair called me and said, the governor had asked me to come and become a member of the Coliseum. And I went there, and that was it. I still have my card. This is my collision card. Okay, you have your own. The roster of those that the governor and his trustee picked to become members shows that the governor might be a prophet, because everybody went ahead to become something important in this country. So we have to give him an applause for that. But beyond branding his business, the man knew how to brand himself. He has used the same perfume since 1970, before Azuarinde was born. His hair, he had always used Fro. His drink, thanks to Rekeko and Eligua, only in Cognac. His cigarette had been Benson and Eddies. He does not wear jewelry and has maintained a one car in the garage road. We all know him today as the governor of Nigeria. But this man, journalist, civil servant, sales rep, company director. During Festac 77, everything would have gone wrong. But for this man, who was a young man then, he came up with an ingenious idea that saved the day during Festac. I spoke to Toni a while back. I loved his trip. And in there he said that Kenneth Olumese is the conductor of a well-oiled orchestra. And that orchestra is from all the family. His son-in-laws and relatives have only kind words to speak about him, while his friends and acquaintances do not seem to run out of superlatives. I have said over and over again that the governor has an ability to cash the check of social and cultural capital, and I will dwell on that for a minute. In this book, you will read about men and women who have impacted his life. One of them is a man called Bode Olajimoke, Senator Bode Olajimoke. I met him a while ago and I said, "Sir, I would like to have a friend like you when I grow up." When his house was burned down by fire, the people came up, Texan came up, Sophisticated came up, and they gave him this, and they gave him clothes. When night shift got on, the Olajimoke gave him $35,000, not in this tournament. That money. Dr. Amos Adamu, who we just met a few months before, sent him 25 tons of assorted high-tension iron rods and 200 bags of cement. Many others chipped in. When it was time to go to court, Mr. Shofunde filed a stay of action free of charge. At every fork in the road, Ken Caleb Olumese had a hefty check to cash out of the bank of goodwill and social capital. But what about him? Was he just a man who took and took and took from people? Did he ever give back? One of my nephews got a scholarship thanks to Ken Caleb Olumese. His in-law, Vincent Otione, says he had to start as a lawyer because he registered United Independence. His daughter, Cynthia, recalls that at their home, they had a sticker that read, "Givers never lack," which defines her father's inability to make a feast because his palm was always open to give. Cassandra says Daddy loves helping people sort out their issues. He's a big giver in cash and time. Jennifer Agbonlaho described him as kind. Another daughter described him as kind, generous, supportive, and available. Aside from family and friends, most of the people that came up tonight, Chegwa Arinze, Bakasi, Two-Face, Henshaw, they all became that big celebrity because they were given a platform at night shift. So let's give it up for the government. In the book,